I am Zelda Johnson, 49 years old, and I've spent 2 decades in uniform. Today I stand at Fort Liberty Gate dressed in plain clothes. I came to honor my brother's promotion and instead found myself erased. The security guard holds a clipboard at chest-height eyes scanning names. I step forward, lean in, and he glances down once more. His face remains blank. He shakes his head twice and says, "I'm not on the list." I feel my heart tighten for a moment. Then I straighten my shoulders. Behind me, I hear soft laughter. My mother stands beside my father and my brother Jason. Their smiles are polite but cold. I pull my coat tighter, hiding the general's silver eagle on my collar. The fabric swallows my rank and years of service. No one here sees me for who I truly am. 15 years ago, I chose ROTC over the family business. I traded boardrooms for battlefields and spreadsheets for strategy briefings. They told me intelligence work was desk duty. I rose from second lieutenant to brigadier general in record time. My missions shaped covert operations on 3 continents. My name meant secrecy and success to those who needed the truth. My father retired as a colonel after 30 years of combat. He hung his uniform in the living room for everyone to admire. He never saw how high I could fly. My mother calls me her daughter, but rarely mentions my accomplishments. My brother, the newest captain, basks in his own ceremonies. None of them asked about my deployments. For years I lived between 2 worlds hidden behind classification lines. I saved lives in silence while they celebrated surface victories. My heart learned to stay still. The guard turns away and I step back into the growing line of guests. My coat still conceals the insignia that changed my life. My eyes flick to the street beyond the gate. Commander Davis arrives with measured steps and a crisp salute. His voice carries across the plaza when he calls "Welcome, General Zelda Johnson." The gate swings open. My family freezes, jaws slack and eyes wide. Suddenly the truth stands before them in full glory, and I walk through without a word. Tomorrow they will understand everything they chose to ignore. Tonight I hold my head high, knowing my service speaks louder than any invitation list. They will see me at last. I am Zelda Johnson, 39 years old, and I have spent 2 decades in uniform. Today I stand at Fort Liberty Gate dressed in plain clothes. The security guard holds a clipboard at chest-height eyes scanning names. I step forward, lean in, and he glances down once more. He shakes his head twice and says, "I am not on the list." I feel my heart tighten for a moment. Behind me I hear soft laughter. My mother stands beside my father and my brother Jason. Their smiles are polite but cold. I pull my coat tighter, hiding the general's silver eagle on my collar. The fabric swallows my rank and years of service. No one here sees me for who I truly am. 15 years ago, I chose ROTC instead of the family business. I traded boardrooms for battlefields and spreadsheets for strategy briefings. Commissioned as a second lieutenant, I felt raw purpose. The barracks became my new boardroom. My first posting was overseas in signal intelligence. Nights blurred with code breaking and clandestine briefings. By 28, I made captain. My family never asked what I learned on deployment. I studied encryption algorithms in secure facilities. I mapped threat networks that targeted our troops. At 32, I earned promotion to lieutenant colonel. A mentor called me visionary. I designed protocols for cyber defense across multiple bases. Each line of code saved lives. My father still hangs his uniform in the living room. He never displayed mine. Colonel rank came at 35 faster than most could imagine. The ceremony was private and attended by generals. I returned home that week to a holiday meal. No one asked about my new rank. I served on crisis teams coordinating joint operations. My decisions set schedules for rescue missions. At 38, I pinned on brigadier general. It was a quiet ceremony at Joint Base Myers. I walked away from the private event alone. There was no family invitation to celebrate. In classified meetings, I negotiated security requirements. I bridged military and corporate priorities. My current role is liaison for a $1.5 billion contract. I manage compliance for every deliverable. The contract links the Department of Defense with my father's firm. A twist they could never foresee. We meet weekly in secure conference rooms. I review budgets and technical specs with executives. I serve with full authority over all defense systems. My signature finalizes approvals on each project phase. My father's company builds advanced radar and satellite gear. They never realized who oversaw the integration. At dinners, they ask about civilian consultants. I smile without explaining the truth. On calls with the Secretary of Defense, I hold rank. They treat me as equal. My mother still worries if my schedule allows family visits. She cannot imagine the orders behind my days. My brother brags about his unit's graduation classes. He has no clue I supported their missions. Security remains tight around my daily work. Even casual mentions could trigger clearance issues. Each badge and ribbon on my uniform represents sacrifices. Names of fallen soldiers I cannot share. I carry those memories in silence. My family carries outdated notions. They believe I organize briefings and file reports. They do not see the field work. Intelligence grew into a passion I never expected. It shapes global strategy more than any boardroom. I have traveled to 5 continents for covert tasks. Each mission required discretion and resilience. I have saved entire platoons from ambushes in real time. Their lives depended on my analysis. None of this is on glossy news. Classification seals the deeds from public record. Yet here I stand beneath the surface of their assumptions, ready to defend and reveal my truth. Tomorrow they will learn I supervise critical operations. They will see rank far above any desk. The contract meeting will expose my presence. They will realize the liaison is no civilian. All these years they discounted my choice. My uniform speaks louder than any boardroom applause. This silent preparation equips me for the moment of reckoning. I will show them the real measure. My journey from ROTC to Brigadier General defines my path. Each step built a foundation of service. Their world remains unknowing, wrapped in legacy and pride. They still imagine hierarchy in narrow terms. I will enter the conference room and hold space. My authority earned through code and counsel. Their smiles will turn to shock and respect. They will witness the cost of underestimation. This story is not about vengeance through confrontation. It is about truth revealed and respect earned. In silence, I gathered power for this day. And now I stand ready for their awakening. I step forward again, heart steady, as the guard checks his list one more time. His brows knit while he scans names under the bright midday sun. Behind him, the security barrier glints, a silent reminder that this gate controls every entrance. My mother and father stride past without a glance, their shoulders squared in polite dismissal. My brother Jason walks between them, head-high pride on full display. They wear their best uniforms of confidence as they pass me by. I stand alone in the line of honored guests, plain in civilian clothes. My coat hides the Brigadier General's silver eagle pinned beneath. The crowd hums with chatter about valor and sacrifice. The guard lowers his eyes and shakes his head once more. I feel the breath catch in my chest for a heartbeat. Then I pull my coat tighter. I step back from the gate and fold my arms. My gaze sweeps the plaza, measuring distances and angles. Silence gathers around me like a cloak. A hush descends as a figure approaches from the left flank. Commander Davis appears in full dress blues that shine under the sun. His stride is purposeful, his posture unyielding. He reaches the guard, gives a crisp salute, and speaks with a voice that booms over the plaza. His words cut through the murmurs and rippled conversations. "Welcome, General Zelda Johnson." The guard straightens abruptly, eyes wide with recognition. He steps aside without another word, cheeks pale under his sunburned skin. The gate swings open for me. I walk through without urgency, each footstep deliberate on the marble pavers. Guests pause mid-conversation, glasses lifting and lowering again. Their eyes track me in stunned disbelief. My mother halts in mid-step, lips parting in silent shock. My father's hand tightens on Jason's arm, forgetting decorum for a moment. Jason's jaw drops, uncertainty flickering across his features. Commander Davis falls into step beside me, his salute now a private gesture. His gaze meets mine for a fraction of a second. Respect, not surprise. Then he turns back to the plaza. I hold my head high and walk toward the dignitary's entrance. The weight of my rank settles on my shoulders like familiar armor. Around me, the crowd parts. No one speaks as I pass. No applause greets me. Just the soft shuffle of uniforms and the quickening pulse of realization. Inside the courtyard, flags snap sharply in the breeze. The banner overhead reads, "Bravo Company Valor Day." Beneath it stands the dais awaiting the ceremony. I pause at the threshold, looking back once more. My family stands clustered by the gate, frozen in place. Their world has shifted in a single phrase. Stepping forward, I leave their doubt behind me. Each stride echoes the years of preparation. The moment of reckoning has arrived. I enter the glass-walled conference room 15 minutes early, briefcase in hand, and take my seat at the head of the table. The board members and executives sit in neat rows, eyes flicking up when I walk in. I place my notes on the table and tap the microphone once. I open the meeting by stating the mission scope and security requirements for Project Aegis. I emphasize the importance of end-to-end encryption and real-time threat monitoring. My tone is calm but authoritative. An operations manager begins to outline the current integration plan. I nod, then point out a gap in the intrusion detection layer. I ask the team to clarify their redundancy measures. Jason shifts in his chair when I direct my next question to him. How do you isolate insider code injections when your patch cycle is bi-weekly? I ask. His eyes dart to his notes. He clears his throat and mentions external audits and automated scans. I listen, then press him again on manual override protocols. He falters, offering a vague reference to emergency rollback procedures. I turn to the compliance officer seated beside Jason and invite their input. They describe a 3-step verification process for command authentication. I acknowledge their response and move on. Throughout the next 30 minutes, I walk through each security layer. I reference Federal Compliance Code combat-tested benchmarks and a recent classified incident. The room follows my lead. My father, seated near the back, leans forward and asks about resource allocation for the next quarter. I explain why redistributing budget from user interface to core encryption will mitigate systemic risk. My answer is concise and backed by data. The engineers exchange glances and jot notes furiously. One whispers that my suggestion could reduce vulnerability points by 30%. I nod and ask them to submit a revised proposal by the end of the day. Several executives address follow-up questions to me before Jason can respond. Their posture has shifted. They seek my approval first. Jason remains silent, pen frozen above his chart. I summarize the directives, tighten authentication, expand monitoring, and update the incident response timeline. Then I close my notebook and say the next meeting will review progress. My voice remains steady. The chairman thanks me for my insights, and the meeting adjourns. Board members stand and file out, pausing to shake my hand. I offer a polite nod in return. I gather my papers and stand. I leave the room without looking back. My father and Jason sit in stunned silence. As the door closes behind me, I feel the weight of their gazes. Their world has shifted. And now they must decide what comes next. I step into the small conference room and close the door behind me. My father stands by the window, mother at the table, and Jason leans against the wall. I motion for them to sit. Silence stretches between us before I speak. I've carried the weight of being overlooked for 15 years. Each holiday, each promotion, each conversation felt like a reminder that my service didn't matter to you. My father's face tightens and he shifts uncomfortably. My mother's hands tremble on her lap. Jason's jaw sets like he's bracing for impact. I look at each of them in turn. I served in classified operations that saved lives and shaped strategy. You never asked what I did beyond pushing papers. My mother blinks back tears and opens her mouth. I'm sorry, I said finally. I didn't understand your work or your sacrifices. My father clears his throat and steps forward. I failed to see your worth, he admits. I thought intelligence work was less heroic than combat roles. Jason's shoulders slump and he rubs his forehead. I always thought you were the desk job expert, he says. I never realized you were commanding operations in the field. I nod slowly to him. Your service is just as real and just as vital. I needed you to see that. We sit in quiet reflection. The air feels warmer now, less charged. A door to healing stands open. My mother reaches out to touch my hand gently. Let's learn about your world, she whispers. And in that moment, I feel our family begin to find its way back. I step into the small conference room and close the door behind me. My father stands by the window, arms crossed, while my mother sits at the table. Jason leans against the wall, eyes flicking between us. I gesture toward the seats, and they obey without a word. The room feels heavy with years of unspoken judgments. I take a steadying breath. I begin with honesty. 15 years felt like carrying an invisible weight. Every celebration and every congratulations passed me by. My voice remains calm as I share my truth. I spent years in classified operations, saving lives and shaping strategy. None of you ever asked what I did. My mother's eyes fill with tears and she opens her mouth. I'm sorry, she says, her voice small. I failed to ask how to support your path. My father rubs his temples and shifts uncomfortably. I did not realize your work required secrecy, he admits. I assumed desk duty meant less sacrifice. Jason steps forward, shoulders hunched. I always thought you were stuck at a desk, he says. I never saw you leading missions under fire. I look at him with quiet compassion. Your service is vital, he hears. It stands equal to any combat role. We sit in silence for a moment. The air feels lighter now. A door to healing has cracked open. My mother reaches for my hand gently. Let's learn about your world, she whispers. In that gesture, I feel hope. My father nods, eyes softening. We want to understand your service, he says. Teach us how to see your valor. Jason gives a small, awkward smile. I want to hear your stories, he adds. For the first time, he truly listens. My father clears his throat and meets my eyes. I want to learn about your intelligence work, he says quietly. I need to understand the world you've carried alone. He settles into a chair and leans forward. Can you explain how you gather threat data from thousands of miles away? He asks. His voice holds genuine curiosity. My mother sits beside him, hands clasped. I am so sorry, she begins, her words catching. I never realized how much I hurt you. She bows her head and breathes deeply. I thought desk duty was easier, she admits. I didn't see the stakes you faced every day. Jason shifts his weight next to her. I always thought I had it harder, he says, voice trembling. Now I see I was wrong. He rises and steps closer to me. I am proud of you, he says, almost a whisper. I regret every time I dismissed your service. My father nods slowly, absorbing the change. Teach me about your operations, he asks. I want to respect your role fully. I take a deep breath and begin simply. Intelligence work is the art of seeing what others cannot. It means reading patterns in silence. I describe analyzing encrypted communications for hidden threats. I explain coordinating cyber defense across multiple bases. Their faces soften with each detail. My mother wipes a tear without looking up. I never knew, she murmurs. I had no idea. Jason crosses his arms and then uncrosses them. I'm in awe, he admits. You've led missions I could never imagine. My father's eyes narrow in concentration. Can you show me the basics, he asks. I nod and outline a simple data flow. My mother leans in to listen. Her posture reflects respect she never showed before. I feel hope rise. Jason steps back, arms now by his side. I want to support you, he says firmly. I will stand by your side. My father reaches out and touches my shoulder. We are family, he says. I am here for you. My mother smiles, hesitant but real. I will ask more questions, she vows. I want to honor your service. Jason gives me a small, genuine grin. You deserve every accolade, he whispers. I wish I'd seen it sooner. We sit together in quiet understanding. The air feels lighter now. Healing has begun. I close my eyes for a moment, then open them to their faces. Thank you, I say softly. Your words mean more than any medal. The dining room in my DC home is warm with soft lighting and polished wood accents. Floor-to-ceiling windows offer a sweeping view of the city skyline at dusk. The long table is set with family heirloom plates, crystal glasses, and carefully folded napkins. My father stands by the mantelpiece holding a framed photo of me receiving the Distinguished Service Cross at Fort Bragg. He adjusts the angle until it catches the light just right, as if presenting a treasured heirloom. His quiet pride fills the room. My mother carries in a steaming turkey pot roast and sides of roasted vegetables infused with rosemary. The aroma drifts through the air like a familiar embrace. She places each dish carefully, and her eyes shine with anticipation. Jason arrives with his wife, closing the door behind him with a polite smile. Commander Davis follows in dress blues posture, impeccable. They greet me with respectful nods as they take their seats. We all settle, and my father raises his glass for a toast to service in all its forms. Glasses clink softly across the table. The moment feels both sacred and celebratory. Conversation drifts to upcoming assignments and new developments in cybersecurity integration. I describe a defensive protocol I designed for real-time threat monitoring. Their questions are thoughtful, and their interest genuine. My mother leans forward to ask how I coordinate global operations from headquarters. I outline threat mapping, secure communications, and rapid response drills. She listens with focused attention she once reserved for corporate briefings. My father shares stories from his own deployments about teamwork and resilience under fire. His admiration for different kinds of service shines through every word. Jason nods slowly in agreement before sipping his wine. Commander Davis offers quiet remarks about the importance of family support in military life. He recalls my mother's care packages that kept morale high during overseas deployments. His sincerity feels like a benediction. I look around the table and feel the weight of past misunderstandings soften into something new. No one brings up the confusion at the gate or the mix-up with the guest list. Instead, we focus on unity, gratitude, and shared purpose. I step away from the table to glance at the display of medals on the sideboard. My Distinguished Service Cross now stands beside my father's ribbons and Jason's awards. Each metal tells a story that has finally been woven together. Later, I slip onto the balcony overlooking the glowing city night. A soft breeze carries memories of past conflicts and family tensions. In that breath, I feel the quiet victory of being truly seen and understood.